Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Armored Warfare. This is Tanks for the Mammeries, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Challenger 1 Wolf Edition. This is a vehicle that is available to you with gold through your account between now, or about a week ago, and the 6th of April. So if you are interested in this vehicle, take a look at this video review, and then if you want to purchase it, you can buy it with gold from your account. You can get it either in the Wolf Pack with the other vehicles that come there, which is the Weasel, the Challenger 1, the Centauro, and the BMD-2, or you can buy it individually for 7,000 gold. If you buy it as part of the pack, it's 20,000 gold for the pack, but you get all four vehicles. If you want just this one, again, it's 7,000 gold through your account, not with cash. This vehicle is probably one of the most talked about vehicles in Armored Warfare. It's one of those, you either love it or you hate it, and there's a number of different reasons why. So what I'll do is we'll talk about this for a little bit. We'll talk about the statistics and what I've done with my crew and my retrofits, and then we'll get into a sample game so you can sort of see what it's all about. The Challenger 1 is a British tank. It's an extremely heavily armored tank, which is the primary benefit that people like about it. In Tier 7, it's probably got pound for pound the most armor out of any vehicle in the game, especially at its tier. The issue is, though, the higher tiers you get, the better penetration the guns have, and so the armor is not necessarily quite as effective at the higher tiers. But for this tier, it's got about the best armor in the game. It also has a 120mm gun, which is, frankly, absolute crap. It comes with only two ammo types, which is the armor-piercing, fin-stabilized, discarding sabot round, and the L31 Hesh round. You can see here that I only carry about 5 Hesh rounds, and the rest of it is the armor-piercing ammo. The reason I carry the Hesh is because if I'm going up against soft targets, whether it's artillery or there are some secondaries that have to be destroyed, I'll use the Hesh for that. Save my sabot rounds for enemy vehicles. But the penetration on these is just junk. It's garbage. This gun is, in real life, is one of the best guns in the world for main battle tanks, but in this game, this gun is just junk. So, yeah, but the people love it because of the armor. It's extremely slow. It is a very, very slow and underpowered tank, even with a top engine in it. And the gun is, while the gun is pretty accurate, it's not, a laser beam, and the penetration just really blows. So, although you've got a decent reload time, you've got, a number of rounds per minute, reload time of 8.5 seconds. It's, you can spend a lot of time sitting with your gun loaded, waiting, hunting for a weak spot on an enemy tank to be able to put your shell through it. So, yeah, that's pretty much the story behind this thing. There's no camouflage factor with it whatsoever. So what I've done is, with my crew, let's just go through the crew real quick. I put this guy on there, and the reason I chose this guy, Ionis Sana, is because I want to be able to cause as much damage as possible with this gun, even though it's fairly weak, and I would like to be able to cause fires with shells that I put into the weak spots in the side and rear of enemy vehicles. So I chose him for that purpose. Your mileage may vary, but that's what I've done with him. For my crew, what I wanted to do was increase my hull traverse speed because I want to keep that heavily armored front facing the enemies at all time, because that's basically the strongest suit on this tank is the armor. And so my idea was to be able to have this hull traverse improvement so that I could always face my armor to the enemy. I also then chose the off-road driving because this tank is very slow and underpowered. I wanted to have the least technical obstacles in the way to it going as fast as possible over rough terrain. The we'll talk about that in a second. For my gunner, I wanted quick draw to improve my aim speed, and turret traverse to improve the speed at which I turn the turret to engage targets. It's all about getting as much ammunition weight downfield, downrange as possible, because they're not all going to pin, so you want to get them down there as fast as possible, as accurately as possible. For my loader, I did the secured ammunition to improve the safety of the ammo rack, and then rapid fire to help reduce the reload time. Again, ammo, you only have two choices. You've got the armor piercing and you've got the HESH. That's it. Consumables, obviously my usual loadout, which is repair kit, first aid kit, fire extinguisher, and the field maintenance kit. For my retrofits, and you might choose something different, but I did the magnetic actuator to improve the damage that I do when it penetrates, and also improve my aim time. Reinforced ammo rack for hull and ammo rack hit points. Just because the tank is armored, that's all it really is armored, and so I want to improve that as well. Then, because you can use this as a brawler, and so I want to add as much protection as possible to it. Again, same thing, spall liner, more hit points, and then additional crew protection. And then to continue to improve my crew's capabilities, I got the intercom system to improve the crew stats. So that's basically what I've done with the tank. There are some arguments to do other things. You could do the experimental propellant, but since you only have one firepower retrofit slot, I went ahead and chose something that's going to give me quicker firing down range and do a little bit of additional damage. You got two different armor retrofit slots, and you have one technology retrofit slot, so you don't even get a mobility slot with this vehicle. So let's go back and talk about the speed of the vehicle real quick. So you can see the max speed is 55.8 kilometers. It takes an interminable amount of time to get to that, and you're only going to get to that speed on a flat paved surface. On anything else, any sort of other terrain, you are not going to get to 55.8 kilometers an hour. You can tell there's pretty much no camouflage on this vehicle. The view range is not great, but it's a brawling tank. Some people say this thing is supposed to be a sniper. It's supposed to have the gun for being a sniper, but frankly, the penetrating power of the gun is just not there to make it a long distance to medium distance sniper. This tank is pretty much a brawler, so this view range thing to me is really not all that important. The accuracy spread, again, it's pretty accurate, but that's part of that's because I've got crew accuracy in there as well, and the aim time has dropped down significantly there. The penetration is what it is. It's the same as if it were the Challenger. 452 is the damage, and 423 is the penetration. Damage per minute is a little bit more on my tank because I've got the additional retrofits and the crew skills over the stock Challenger 1 or the in-game Challenger 1 at full improvement. The hit points are, they're the same. The vision range on my Challenger 1 that is in the game, that's not the Wolfpack edition, has got a little bit higher view range just because of the crew that's on there. But you can see the aim time is higher, while the aim time on my Wolf edition is lower. So that's basically the deal with this vehicle. I won't get into all the armor stuff other than to say that that's basically what this tank is. If you get it hull down, it's supposed to be a monster. But the idea with main battle tanks is not to sit hull down and just hang on. It's to get in there and actually mix things up. Hull down is for your TDs and things, in my opinion. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump into a game, and you guys can sort of see what this tank is like. And if you're not yet at tier 7, this is probably a decent tank to purchase, so you get sort of the best and worst of what main battle tanks are like at higher tiers. You probably will survive a little longer in a tank like this, but don't expect this gun to work miracles. So if you're down at tier 4, 5, or 6, and you're interested in getting into tier 7 pretty quick, is it worth a buy? Sure. Is it a training tank? Absolutely. In PvE, it's great. In PvP, probably not so much, because if somebody gets around behind you, you're absolutely screwed. So let's go ahead and get into a battle here. One I just played a few minutes ago. It's Operation Quarterback, and we will sort of go through the battle, as well as you'll be able to see sort of what I mean about the gun performance. I don't take many, if any, hits from other tanks in this game. I don't believe I do. I think I just get hit by artillery. Not that they couldn't have shot at me. I was visible for most of the game, if not all of the game. But this is obviously the quarterback map, and there are 5 secondary objectives as well as the refinery itself. And we pretty much, the Draco is essentially the TD there, and then you've got the rest of us as main battle tanks. So see my speed there, 22, 23 kilometers an hour uphill. So here we are. Was able to get a shot into the side of that Leopard 2A because he basically had his rear end to us. I wish you could zoom in further on this to be able to see what I was seeing through the sights. I want to be careful not to hit my own Leopard on my team here. So I'm going to back down. Now I'm able to get side shots into the side of the turret on this guy, but it's just not. The reload's okay. But you're looking at basically just 400 damage per shot. I'm going to shoot this T-80. Does, oh, sorry, I went for the secondary there. I hit the Challenger, but it didn't do anything to him. So I'm pretty much spotted this entire time. Put another shot into the Challenger if it'll go. There, hit him that time, lit him on fire. So, again, that's what I want my commander to do, is be able to light these guys on fire when I hit them, so I can get the extra damage out of it. If you light 1 or 2 guys per game on fire, it goes a long way to improving your overall damage score from the low damage rolls on your gun. There's the artillery hit. Now, don't want to waste a shell on this vehicle if I can avoid it. So there we go with that. Now there's I'm hitting this guy in the engine deck. Definitely hit him in the engine deck, but it's not lighting him on fire, and I'm kind of bummed out about that. There we go. So see, that's what you want to do. If you got a gun that is this poor as far as damage per shot, then whatever you can do to set engine fires is what you want to do. So bounced on the Terminator. There we go. I don't know, I'm not getting shot at, but so I decided I'm going to go over here and help this Challenger 2 on this side, because he's basically just getting into a face-to-face brawl with this other Challenger 2. Don't quite have the shot on him. I'm going to do a hull shot, and even though I hit the lower plate, it bounced. He'd raised the front of his vehicle up to come up that ridge line, and his lower hull plate was exposed. The underneath of his hull was exposed, and it still fucking bounced. So thought I'd set him on fire there, but didn't work. And then we've got this Terminator 2 up here who just totally ignores us. Try to get one into his rear deck, miss him. I'm going to chase him over this hill in just a minute, but I'm not going to be able to catch him. It's just such a slow vehicle, so painfully slow. So I'm hoping those guys can't see me. Try to get a shot in on him here. There we go. And he's dead. So now I'm going to reload my hash ammo. So we're reloading to use that hash as opposed to my armor piercing. Now that it's reloaded in hash, I'm going to try and put some into this guy just to see what happens. I do some damage to him, but it's all basically module damage. So we're going to reload to armor piercing again. Oh, after we hit this guy. Right, we're going to shoot this thing first. Now that all the secondaries are cleared, I'm going to reload to armor piercing. Now I thought there was a leopard over here somewhere, so I'm going to try and chase that guy down. Look how slow this tank is. God. But I can't find him. So rather than continue to screw around with that, what I was trying to do here is make my way up into the oil refinery so I could get shot at a little bit. But they don't seem to cooperate. All I can see is the top of this Terminator. And what I'm going to try and start doing here is put fire into his driver's compartment through his driver's hatch. And he's going to move just enough to where I can't do it. But you can see he's really not doing a whole lot to me with, there's one through the gun. The Terminators are a pain in the ass to kill with this thing, I can tell you that. You run into a lot of them too. So, I'm just going to go ahead and move on up here and see if we can't start killing some of these other guys. We've pretty much got this place surrounded now. The game is all but over. All but getting the last wave when the... So he missed me. So I'm just going to go ahead and trip the cap.
All right, Black Company, you're in position. Hold for air support. Incoming hostiles.
All right. Hit this guy. He's going to hit me. Bounced off. So that was that was pretty much a right in your face shot. And it didn't do anything to my armor. Let's see if we can't put some rounds into the rear end of this Leopard. Trying to set him on fire because he's got his butt right to me. And it's just, I'm damaging his engine, but it's just not setting him on fire. Alright. So, rather than sit here in the cap, we got people to kill. I'm going to go ahead and pull out of the cap. That was a nice shot on the move. That actually, I was surprised that hit him. And you can see the average damage is, 430, 440, somewhere in there. It's just not, really not doing what some of these other guns, some of these bigger alpha guns do. Alright, and that is pretty much that. So you can see it's got a lot of armor on it. It's great armor, but it's really slow, and the gun just doesn't have the alpha punch. So, for what it's worth, if you want to get into PvE and be a tanker and just absorb punishment, you can do it. We'll go to the post-game stats next, so you guys can sort of see what I'm talking about. But anyway, thanks for watching this, and let's check out those stats. Alright, so as you can see, that's not too bad a game. We ended up with, on the premium account, 18,053 reputation with 413,768 credits. That is for 8 assists and 5 kills. Again, the crew on these vehicles is a level 5 crew, so when you put the crew in there, you just give them the extra skills you want them to have, but this is with a level 5 crew. Let's look at the individual bits here. So we fired 37 rounds, 30 impacted on target, 7 were misses. We killed 5 people, damaged 14. Potential damage caused 1,734. Total damage caused 11,176. So, a distance greater than 150 meters was, what, 6,900 damage or so. So, I mean, the gun's okay. You want to get it to reload quickly. You want to add damage to it because the penetration, as I've said over and over again, is just not very good. Coming down to the bottom there, you can see that, I didn't have a whole lot of rounds fired at me, so I didn't have a lot of potential damage mitigated. You guys will see if you get into scrapes where people are shooting at you from the front, you can mitigate, upwards of 20,000 hit points of damage on these things. So, if you want to get into a tier 7, again, is it an okay tank? It's an okay tank. Slow, but lots of armor. Gun's not so great, but it fires fast. It's relatively accurate. See what you think. If you want to get into a tier 7 game, probably not a bad tank to start with to learn how to do it, especially in PvE. When you get into PvP, you're probably going to get your ass handed to you with this vehicle because people know how to fight it, they can get around behind it, and they can destroy you. So, for what it's worth, that's sort of my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much. This is Tanks for the Mammeries playing Armored Warfare. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for other videos. Take care, everybody.